Well, listen, time will tell. I think, just in general from what's going on currently in the market, I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of money to be made right now. Listen, you got to be in the right companies. You got to be doing the right things. You got to have the right time horizon. There's a lot of timing that goes along with all this. When you talk about needing cash, if you need cash right now, it's a tough place for you to be, and you end up going to have to sell things that you don't want to have to sell, which happens in investing all the time, and you end up being in trash. Cash is trash, but you start doing things where you need it, and again, you find yourself in a position where you aren't able to take advantage of times like this. Like I said, I have money in different, high yield savings accounts that I'm transferring over into the market because, my very rudimentary, philosophy when it comes to, investing in the stock market is that I think we're going to be fine. It's pretty much what it boils down to. I was like, I don't know what the hell this guy's doing in the Oval Office. It seems like a lot. I saw a TikTok that apparently he put a tariff on an island that only has penguins on it. I don't know how true that is.
The penguins.
But yeah, the penguins, they got some pretty heavy tariffs on them now.
These penguins have been screwing us for years.
For years, we have been funding, a lot of their climate concerns. All these years, they're not kicking in. They're not kicking in anything. But a lot of chaos. A lot of chaos right now.
What do you think happens? You think the market's up or down this week, and how much?
Oh man, here's the problem. I personally believe it should be up. I think you're going to get hit with some things. I think there's some uncertainty. But I think there was too much panic, the past week or so. I think, I don't think the fundamentals of a lot of these companies have changed. Do I think that they're going to have to pivot? Do I think perhaps make a little less money in the short term? Is there a little bit more uncertainty with China? Is there a little bit of uncertainty with some of our friends in the EU and Canada? Yeah, there's a little bit more uncertainty. But at the end of the day, you have to sit there and be like, all right, well, in 10 years from now, is this even going to be a thought? And your likely answer is no. Are you more,
especially with tech, like the tech sector getting nailed. Now needed a correction. So it's like it needed a reason to correct. So we're here now. Obviously, like Monday morning quarterback. That was obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what are we?
Definitely.
What are we? I was doing this, drinking my coffee, thinking about this today. I was like, okay, Apple makes sense. Apple makes all their stuff in China. That's a problem.
Yeah.
But like, are we talking about Microsoft, NVIDIA? There's going to be carve outs for semiconductors. The whole thing is that we need to onshore. We're not going to tariff the semiconductor companies that want to, make chips for America.
Yeah.
So the semiconductors, and then, I'm thinking Robinhood comes to mind. It's like, that was on a rip and now just got cut. Tesla. Like, I don't know. There's just, I agree with you. I think there's so much opportunity with a larger outlook. And I think what's the most interesting is for our generation is like, because we're so engaged with media and everything's happening faster, right? We have our attention spans are shorter as just a species now with social media. And I feel like the market's kind of showing that too. Between 2018, like if you go back and do these actual crashes, like there's, every 10 whatever years, but I feel like within the last like 5 years, you got COVID, and then 2022 was a huge correction. And now we'll see how this one ends up. I mean, it's a big one to start. It's definitely not like a historical yet, but there's people calling for Black Monday, like Great Depression Black Monday or the 1980s Black Monday. It's like, that's what people are calling for tomorrow. So I don't know. It seems a little hysteria. And like, I agree with you, the 10-year outlook, it's like, come on.
Yeah. I don't think Black Monday happens. It's easy for me to say that it's like a once in a generation thing that happens. I'm gonna be super smart and be like, it's not gonna
They
happen on
want it.
Monday.
There's people. It's because it's so political that there's some people that want it to happen. So like maybe that's kind of the recession thing. It's like maybe we just scare ourselves into a recession because now people aren't going to go on trips. Like if we were going to do 2 weeks at the beach this year. Oh honey, like I'm scared. We can only do a weekend. We're not going to go for 2 weeks. Let's just do a weekend. So I think those conversations are going to start to happen. And so maybe we
Definitely.
spook ourselves into a recession. But it almost feels like because this is such a political thing. It's almost like there's people that want it. They want it to happen, right? They want the negativity so they can feed off of it. And I know me and you, we're just America guys. We love America. And, again, if the world's going to crash and crumble, money doesn't mean anything. If not, we're going higher.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, and this is I couldn't agree with you more. Politics, they always, the other side, if Biden was doing great in the economy, the Republicans want the economy to falter before the election so they can win the election. If Trump's doing great in the economy, even if this tariff idea is something that they like, I mean, I remember the first time Trump did tariffs, the left went berserk. And then all of a sudden, during this election, it came out that Biden had kept most of the tariffs, if not increased them. So it was like, okay. So once the narrative switches to now you're running the country, and these tariffs are bringing a good amount of money, even if it is come from the American taxpayer. Oh, we could. This is good. This is good for us. We need this money. You don't say anything anymore. You let it go.
100%.
That's
and
yeah. Go
no,
ahead.
sorry, go officially.
Well, listen.
I was just saying, I got news off the wire here. We're recording
let's
Sunday
hear it.
for the good people listening Monday. Just within the hour, Vietnam has already offered to remove all tariffs on U.S. imports after a 46% tariff was announced on them. Vietnam is looking to make a deal. And then literally just 1 second ago off the wire here, Taiwan offers 0 tariffs, just as we discussed. Semiconductors, Taiwan Semi, NVIDIA, all those partnerships offers it. So, like, this stuff's going to start hitting the news wire, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it digests. Like Nike, for example, Nike got bullied by not even Trump or Biden. It was like previous administrations as a whole. I think it was a national security thing. It was like, hey, Nike, like, start moving out of China and head over to Vietnam. And then Restoration Hardware. Oh my God, Restoration Hardware, same thing. They were told get out of China, go to Vietnam, and then Vietnam gets slapped with like the highest tariff the other day, and those stocks absolutely cratered. But it's like these deals are going to start coming in, and then it's like, all right, you want to play politics? Are you red, blue, or are you green? That's going to be the question, I think, of the next year.